Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. It is the day after Thanksgiving, and I just woke up from a nap. Just woke up from a nap and decided I was going to go live to have a conversation with the comic book community. And so we'll see who shows up in here. But I'm going to hang out for a little while and we'll probably talk about whatever it is that you all want to talk about. I have been watching a Netflix series that I'll try to make mention of here in just a couple of moments. But we are going to dig into whatever might be top of mind for folks. And I'm kind of sort of doing some of these live streams while I am not working in an attempt to be able to connect with other aspects of the subscribers out there that don't get to participate in my live streams because they typically are done in the evening on the Pacific Coast, which makes it a little rough for those people on the East Coast. So we will do these things when I have the time to hang out with some people. And, it's all about having a good time. So I see a couple of comic book soldiers that have rolled here in the room. So I want to say hello to a couple of folks. Let me get rid of this thing that's on the screen here because that is right in the way. As soon as I find out where that is, we'll try to move that off the screen. There we go. We'll move that off the screen and say hello to Chris, Hydra Collectibles. My man Ariel Rob is here. Closet Geek, aka Vika, is in the house, as is Steve from LA. Lost the chat. Jack Frosty, Joa, how you doing, brother? Stampede is here. Comic Collection Agency is in the house. Mike is here. Kyler is here. Sith AF is here. Tom Garcia. Scrolling down to the names, Scott, Vince, scrolling down. There we go. We got a nice little haul. Couple of new names in there that I have not seen before. So it is good to see each and every one of you. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to hang out with me for just a little bit. Not much is going on, just hanging out here. Woke up from a nap a little while ago. Had a cup of coffee to rejuvenate myself and thought I would jump on here and hang out with you guys, see what you guys are talking about. So I'm scrolling down through the comments right now here. Talk about Mandalorian episode 4. I don't want to ruin it for people, man. There's a lot of people that still haven't seen Mandalorian. So I don't want to ruin it for people. I will tell you, it is a really, really good show. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The first, I think it was like 3 minutes and 24 seconds. I was hooked. And it was a good series so far. I think the next one drops. I think it's December 6th. So I'm kind of in a holding pattern until December 6th. I think that's what someone sent me this wonderful graphic right here on my on Instagram. And yeah, so chapter 4 drops November 29th. Wait a minute. So I haven't seen that one. Is today the 29th? I have not seen that one. So I may have to watch that one myself. So I can't talk about it because I haven't seen it. And then chapter 5 drops December 6th. Chapter 6 drops December 13th. 7 is December 18th. And then chapter 8 drops 2 days after Christmas on the 27th of December. So that is a schedule. I may have to watch episode 4 myself. May wrap this live stream up early so I can go in the other room and watch it. Mike, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Let me see what else you guys are talking about. Here we go. This is Hanta. Oh, that's hilarious. That you're talking about me? This channel, this right here? Man, I think there's some smoking deals out there. My wife has been talking to me about all the deals that she's been getting all morning for various things for the children, like pajamas and stuff like that, half off games. I guess she said Target, I think, has 50% off children's games. So she picked up things like Hungry Hippo. I think she picked up Operation and all of these other games that she and I used to play as kids, so that our children can enjoy that same stuff. So I think there's also multiple Christmas trees that may be en route to my house. I think she wants to do multiple Christmas trees throughout the house. And it's just one of those things. My wife goes not over the top, but she likes to go big for Christmas. And I think it's more for our children than anything else. But that's also why she's a good mom. So scrolling down through some of the comments, see what you guys are talking about. Mandalorian episode 4, so good, says Kyler. Don't ruin it for me. Don't ruin it. Chris is talking about The Watchmen. He says episode 6 solidified it as the best thing on TV right now, with The Mandalorian as a close second. I have not watched Watchmen. I think that's on HBO, right? And I do not have HBO because I don't need another thing channel streaming service to watch. So I have not seen The Watchmen, but I have heard good things about that. So what is this? Let me see. Gotta go to hunt right now. Oh man, that is awesome. Good luck out there, brother. Who is it? Aaron Finkelstein sent me a photo, or he posted a photo on Instagram early this morning. He was out there hunting with his comic book soldier shirt on. So good luck, comic collection agency, brother. I hope you come up big out there. Man, we have a lot. Well, my wife ended up, she got this pie, this sweet potato pie, that was large enough to feed like family and extended family, and there's 4 of us in my house. And so this morning I think she cut it up, and I think she's trying to freeze some of it. I don't even know if you can freeze sweet potato pie, because it's actually going to go to waste, because we're probably not going to eat all of it. But yeah, there is a lot left for us in this house right now. So Jim, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Nash, how you doing? I see you. Rob's like, you're welcome for the schedule, bro. You hooked it up. So here's a couple of things. There's a lot of people that don't necessarily understand comic book karma. All right. There's a lot of people that don't understand comic book karma. My man Rob sent me that schedule after I talked about The Mandalorian. And he sent it to me on Instagram, right? 2 days later, coincidentally, this dude wins a random giveaway on the channel. If that isn't comic book karma at its finest, I don't know what is. So shout out to you, Rob, for hooking me up with The Mandalorian. And I hope you enjoy the stuff that is en route to you right now. Happy holidays, man. Bad. Haven't seen you in a while, brother. How you doing? It is definitely good to see you. Willie's like, I have a Christmas tree forced in my So I think she's going to have maybe 2 on the first floor, and then I think the children each get 1. And so I think she ordered 3-foot trees for the kids. Her sister did it way big. Her sister is getting 6-foot Christmas trees for her 2 kids. But we're probably going to have at least 3 trees in the house, at least possibly 4. She looked at me and she said, I want to do a different color this year. What color do you want? And I said, no, baby. What color do you want? So yeah, I think this is not, according to Willie, this is pretty typical behavior. So Christopher's like, yeah, man, I don't have HBO. Yeah, people are talking very highly of the Watchmen series. I never really read the comic book. I saw bits and pieces of the movie, but people seem to really dig the TV show. It's unfortunate that it's actually on HBO, because again, the thing is, we have so many different streaming services and channels and all this other stuff. It's too much. Somebody needs to figure it out, buy somebody else, and then consolidate this thing and make it a lot easier on me. H Factor in the house. How you doing, brother? It's good to see you. He says, Steve's from LA says, I'm a soldier right now, but for a different reason. After being the day after Thanksgiving, I'm stuffed. That's what's up, man. Nothing wrong with that. I've been eating constantly eating food, which is great. I'm gonna tell you, Thanksgiving is one of my favorite times of the year. It's probably my favorite holiday, because historically this one isn't about gifts. It's not about presents. It's really, in my opinion, a celebration of family. And that's what it's always been for me. As a kid growing up, we always came together as a family. We would house hop and that kind of stuff, but it was just about family, food, and a lot of good laughs. And so that's part of the reason why Thanksgiving is my favorite. And my wife technically owes me. She owes me because we sat down to get ready to have dinner, and she looks at me and she says, I forgot your cranberry. And my heart sank. Because cranberry is one of my favorites. And it's not that fancy cranberry made from real cranberries. I don't like this stuff. I like the cranberry sauce that comes in the can that has the lines on it. That's the kind of cranberry I like, because historically I take it out, that gelatinous material out of the can, and I slice it on those little lines, and it is just delicious jelly. So I did not get any cranberry. I ate her cranberry sauce that she ended up making from real cranberries, and it was delicious. But I miss my lines. I miss the lines on the cranberry. So maybe next year. Maybe next year it will be my turn. So scrolling down through the comments, She Spawn is in here. There she is. She Spawn. How you doing? It's good to see you. Short box. What is this? Shortbox Sharks and I are attending a Star Wars convention tomorrow. That's what's up. Have a good time out there, man. I hope you guys enjoy yourself. Man Bat is out there watching Mandalorian right now. That's what's up. Scrolling down through the comments here. Kimball, how you doing? It's good to see you, my friend. Scrolling down, there's a lot of comments here. I think I missed some of this. Marvel Joe, it's good to see you, brother. Scrolling down through the comments here, I may have missed some stuff. You guys are going to have to apologize. Greek Freak says, I was only cooking for 4 to 5 hours yesterday. Well worth it. Food coma. Yeah, I took a nap yesterday and I took a nap today. And it was fantastic. It was vanglorious. I'm telling you that. Marco says, nice to catch one of your live streams. Normally I miss. See, I'm going to tell you, that's one of the reasons why I'm doing these live streams, because I'm off from work, right? And oftentimes over the last, 6 months or so, my live streams have primarily been in the evening. And so I know that there's a lot of people, certainly on the East Coast and then certainly in other parts of the country and parts of the world, I apologize, that are not able to participate in the live stream. So that's part of the reason why I'm doing it a little bit differently, so that I can connect with some folks that are different, because believe it or not, there are people in Germany, in the UK, in Australia that actively watch this channel, which I think is fantastic. I actually found my podcast yesterday in several different languages that I did not recognize. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but I'm surfing the internet, searching for myself, trying to see where my stuff is because of some things I'm working on in the background. And I find my podcast in several languages. And I was like, I don't know what that language is, but I think it's cool. If people out there are digging the content around the world, I think it's a fantastic thing. So shout out to you over in the UK, Marco. Definitely appreciate you to joining me. What is this? The cranberry that has the lines. Bro, don't knock the cranberry, okay? Don't knock the cranberry. It's delicious. It is delicious. Venomize, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you. My wife is jumping up and down saying me too. You guys are awesome. What is Man Bat? That's my favorite. I'm telling you. I was on Instagram yesterday. And I was scrolling through the feed and someone had a photo of the can. They just had a photo on Instagram of the can. And again, my heart sank again because I knew that they were about to enjoy that wonderful cranberry sauce. And I wasn't. And I was very jealous. And I promptly liked that photo because I was like, I want some of that too. Mike says cranberry. And what is it? Cranberries ain't cranberries without the swoosh sound. For those that don't know, that is the sound when the gelatinous material that is in the can slides out of the can and it makes this slurping sound. It is fantastic. I gently lay it on its side and I get a nice sharp knife and I just, man, I go to town. I like to lay each slice of the cranberry down. Oh man, Willie, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. My man from Austria is like, greetings from Austria. Yeah, most of the time, what does he say? Scroll up. Most of the time I'm asleep when you live stream. Well, it is good to see you, bro. I'm glad that you are awake. I'm glad that you were able to make the live stream because we have a lot of fun. Typically talking about nonsense on here if I'm in here. Mr. Comic says, went to my LCS today, 50-cent bins and 24. Whoa, that's big. Hopefully you cleaned up, bro. Hopefully you cleaned up. This dude, Scott's on a roll this morning. I was in a comic shop yesterday, man. I'm going to tell you, Crush, I think I mentioned this, Crush Comics over in Castro Valley. I'm over there fighting with my man Daryl, trying to get some good books. And there was a stack of Amazing Spider-Man that Crush Comics actually has right now, including ASM 50. So if anybody's interested, reach out to my man Josh over there. I'm guessing he has some sales going on. I'm assuming that he would mail some stuff to you, but he has some double-digit ASM over there, double-digit ASM, low number. I'm guessing for sale right now. So if anybody's interested, I know Mr. Comic, I know you're an ASM guy, man. So you may want to hit him up. It's Crush Comics on the Instagram machine. So scrolling down, what is this? Literally unpacking the giveaway you sent to me. Best. Oh, that's what's up. You are very welcome, John. I'm glad I was able to be part of your day, bro. Hopefully everything arrived safely to you. Scrolling down, what is this? Got up at 4 a.m. to be at Lowe's for 50-cent poinsettias. Wow. That's not a bad deal. I love some Home Depot, man. I'm going to tell you, there's a couple of places I go pretty often, and Home Depot is one of those places. I like that place. So scrolling down through some of the comments here, seeing what else you guys are talking about. Rob is like 40% off of my LCS, was open 24 hours straight. I've been awake for oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What is this? Midtown Black Friday sale. They went through a trade. Very nice. All right. So here, I'm gonna show you this real quick. I'm gonna share my screen with you guys because I actually started watching a new series on Netflix. Speaking of one of the many streaming services that I actually have, I want to show you this to you guys. This is the show, the documentary kind of sort of that I've been watching over the last couple of days. It's The Toys That Made Us. And I don't know if you guys have seen this thing, but it's actually pretty cool. I mean, that's actually a really high-res photo. That is a gorgeous photo right there. But it's actually a pretty cool documentary. And so if you can read this text over here, it's like the minds behind history's most iconic toy franchises discuss the rise and sometimes the fall of their billion-dollar creations. So yesterday I watched the one on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I rather enjoyed that. The whole the co-creator thing, I wasn't aware of all that stuff. I certainly wasn't aware of the relationship, but between those two guys and how all of that stuff worked and how, it was kind of fractured over time because of a couple of things. But it was a very interesting documentary about the Turtles. So if there's big fans of the Turtles, you definitely want to watch that. But there was one that I probably enjoyed the most, and I actually don't even see a snapshot of here. And it was actually the one on the Transformers. I thoroughly enjoyed the one about the Transformers, partly because I was a huge Transformer fan back in the day. And what was funny is just earlier in the day, before I even watched that episode, I had a conversation with my mother. They actually just moved into a new house. And I said to her, hey, did you guys find my Optimus Prime? Because I have an Optimus Prime that I cannot find. And at one point earlier in my life, my parents drove a bunch of my possessions to me. And they were like, here you go. Here's all your stuff. And it was a bunch of my comics. This was back in the day. And the Optimus Prime wasn't there. So I have a feeling that it's still mixed in with some of my brother's things from back in the day. So I'm hoping that they're going to find it. But I watched this really, really wonderful segment on the Transformers and was blown away. There was a lot of things that I really did not know about the Transformers. And one of those things was the involvement of Jim Shooter. I did not realize that Jim Shooter basically wrote the origin story, if you will, the background of the Autobots and the Decepticons. I did not know that. And so there were some interesting moments. And it's like they used the comics and Jim Shooter, the House of Ideas, that being Marvel, to actually create the world, if you will, in which to, kind of introduce and provide this backstory for the Transformers as they rolled them out here in the US. And it was really well done. If you guys haven't seen The Toys That Made Us, I definitely want to encourage you to check this documentary out. I'm not the biggest Power Rangers fan, but I know a lot of you guys are. So they have one on Power Rangers as well, if people are interested in that. But I want to show this little clip here real quick, see if we can get this thing to work. It's actually really, really cool. So I don't want to show too much of that because they may block my stuff. I don't know. But it's actually a really cool series. So if you guys get a chance, check it out because it is some good stuff. Daddy. Yes, baby. I want to put my jacket. Oh, hey, watch that light. Oh, she's tearing up my set here. Here, let's put your jacket on. Where's Mama? Where's Mama? She's gone. She's gone. She's not gone. Here, go put your jacket on. Okay, go find Mama. This is what happens when you do live streams. Can you close the door, baby? This is what happens when you do live streams during the day when your children are still awake. They interrupt your live streams. So what does it say? Now my lights are all off because she knocked down a light across the room here. Aaron Finkelstein, how you doing, brother? I was just talking about you out there. Hopefully you had a good time hunting. You probably had really excellent luck because you were wearing that wonderful red comic book soldier t-shirt that you scored from me. So hopefully it was a good time and you scored some good stuff out there. Nate says, I'll have to watch that. I just sold my old toys from when I was a kid. G.I. Joe's, Turtles, He-Man. I'm shocked, man. I'm telling you. So what was cool though is that when I was watching the episode on the Turtles, they actually tapped into one of the guys that worked on He-Man, which was another one of my favorite shows when I was a kid. And so it's interesting how a lot of these different shows are linked by the various creators that are out there. I definitely enjoyed it, so I highly recommend it. And Nate is right. I think that there was a lot of money in toys. I unfortunately don't have many of my toys from my childhood because a lot of what I had was given to my brother, who's 6 years younger, and you know how that goes. Basically, everything gets destroyed and broken. So, scrolling down through the comments here, let me say cameo appearance. Scrolling down through, man, she's been in videos before. I think this is the first time she's ever walked into a live stream because normally she's definitely asleep or in another room or something like that. So, but yeah, she really runs the house. She really does. You'll have to watch the My Little Pony. Maybe. The reason that I won't is because they actually curse a couple of times in the 2 episodes that I watch. I don't think that it's made for kids. It's definitely made for children, and they occasionally use a word that I don't want to expose the kids to, because I definitely thought about that. Definitely, my son walked in when I was watching the Transformers. He's like, "Daddy, what is that?" Because he's been watching Transformers, which I think is great because he is getting into the Decepticons and the Autobots. So I love that part of it. But I don't think that this show is really made for them. So it's all good, though. It's all good. Scrolling down, talking Transformers and Reggie totally. Oh, what did it say? I think it got away. Where did that comment go? Oh, man. The comment went away. Wait a minute. What is this? Talking Transformers and Reggie switched to Daddy. Man, you got to switch it up. My boy loves this right here. That is actually a Transformer right there. That's Bumblebee that I picked up from a relative. It's actually really cool. So he likes to come in here and he starts to try to transform. And I'm always like, whoa. Don't do that. Whoa. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but this beetle, this thing is not easy to transform. Let me tell you, it took me probably the better part of an hour to get this thing back into his car form with everything in the right place. And now I'm like, don't touch it. Just leave it alone. Super honorable nephew. How you doing, brother? It's good to see you. You guys are cleaning up. It looks like you guys are cleaning up out there with these Black Friday sales, man. That's what's up. How you doing, bro? Welcome to the live stream, man. Again, that's why I'm doing these at different times, because those folks out there that watch all the videos don't get a chance to participate. So I definitely want to welcome you guys. YouTube would have banned the toys that made us from no doubt about that. Comic Book Club, how you doing? It's good to see you, brother. So we've been talking about the Toys That Made Us, which is a new Netflix series. Let me restate that. It's actually on season 3. And I just discovered it primarily because I saw the stuff up there for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which my brother absolutely loved. And then I watched that one, and then I also watched the Transformers, and definitely loved those series. I may have to go back and watch some of the others. So what is it? I had Starscream, and it was so hard to, man, some of those things are tough, man. The Starscream, I never had that one, but there was a 3rd generation toy, and I think it transformed into 3 things. And I think I had that. It was actually a space shuttle, and I think I had that one. I had the Optimus Prime, but that was a little bit later. I think I grabbed that one when I was in high school, so it was much later. But there were a lot of them that I wanted, but I think Transformers were somewhat expensive back in the day, and so you already know how that goes, So let's talk about some other things. What do you guys want to talk about? If you have something you want to talk about, questions, comments, thoughts, concerns, whatever it might be, throw it up in all caps. Let's mix it up and see what's up. Oh man, interesting. So I'm reading a message from a subscriber he was doing a guinea pig thing for me, and he just encountered a problem. So I need to investigate that in just a little bit. But if you guys, like I said, have any questions, comments, thoughts, throw them up in all caps, and we'll mix it up here and have a good time. So scrolling back up to see if I've got Starscream from 1980. Wow, that's awesome. The Optimus Prime, my comic shop, I want to say he has 3 or 4 of the Optimus Prime. One of them is, so I want to say it's fully complete, still in the package with all the accoutrement. And I think that thing is like 200 bucks. I think it's like 200 bucks, which is crazy. So definitely a cool little toy. I'm hoping my parents can actually find mine because it'd be nice to actually have it, throw it back there on the shelf. So Netflix needs to put out more effort. Only 3 episodes a year is a bit weak. Oh, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize it was only 3. Check that out. I mean, honestly, I enjoyed the show, but I felt like they could have had a little bit more, I don't know, maybe substance to it. They could have made it a little bit more interesting. It was a little flat. It was a little flat. So it's one of those things that if you're not a fan of that particular toy line, you probably would not watch it. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't that interesting. I think there's ways that you can do documentaries that people would actually be drawn to. Like I've been watching Mars. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's Mars. I think it's on Netflix. And it's basically a combination of like a TV show, movie kind of thing about life on Mars. Like these people are, living on Mars. And part of it is a documentary where they actually talk about the practicality of us going to Mars and living on Mars. And so it's a nice blend of like this science and fiction all at the same time. It's actually really well done. I mean, it leans a certain way politically. But generally, it is actually a good show. So again, and that's another one that I've been watching as of late. I want to say that one's in season 2, and I rather enjoy it. I rather enjoy that season. Or that series. So scrolling down, Comic Crypto Stock. How you doing, brother? It's good to see you. My thoughts on X-Force and Fallen Angels. So I think I read X-Force. I thought X-Force was not bad. It was a continuation after Charles Xavier was actually killed. I rather enjoyed it. I rather enjoy the X-Force series. I like seeing the two sides of the X-Men, if you will. One, the more intelligent side that does intelligence, and the more wet work side. And so I rather enjoy X-Force. I enjoyed issue 1. I enjoy issue 2. And then with the Falling Angels, I thought issue number 1 was really good. The whole background with the Betsy Braddock and Kiwan stuff, I enjoyed that. With Cable and X-23, issue 1 of Fallen Angels was pretty solid. Issue 2, I could have done without issue 2. I did not enjoy that one as much. It was almost like I felt more of a throwaway issue, but issue 1 was solid. X-Force 1 and 2, loved both. I definitely enjoyed that. So scrolling down, what is this? Sad Fallen Angels is only getting first story arc, then stopping. I don't know anything about that. I don't know about that one. But I mean, not that I doubt you. I just have not read that. But what I have heard is that there are going to be multiple waves of X-Men titles. And so what we see with these first 6, there will be, I think they were saying like possibly 2 additional waves, each one containing 6 titles. So we may actually see additional titles kind of roll out. And again, this is stuff that I've heard. Who knows how much of it's actually true? But you never know. You never know. Talking about Soundwave with all the cassettes. Very nice. Oh man, Mike's. I was about to say, don't let me ruin it for you, brother. Don't let me ruin it. Resurrection. We're just going to say Resurrection. He'll be back. He'll be back. What is this? I was looking at Powers of 10. There was all but one issue, number 1, but I found 3 issues of House of X House of X. I don't know what that story was. I don't know what story was first. So basically, if I'm reading that correctly, House of 10, Powers of X go together. They are basically a 1-2 combination. So you read both in conjunction with one another. The way I think of it is that Powers essentially serves as the foundation, if you will, and then House is what you strive for, right? So 1 is very foundational, that being Powers, and the House is much more aspirational, right? So that's kind of how they advance the story one by one. And what I found in that, as I was listening to this live stream or this podcast with Jonathan Hickman, I think that Powers of 10 was originally written kind of as a manifesto, if you will. He wrote it as a document to kind of explain what it is that he wanted to do with the X-Men, and almost as a manifesto to be able to give to other creators to say, here is what you ladder back to. to, right? Here is your anchor, here is your foundation for telling stories related to the X-Men moving forward. And it was never really designed to be a comic. It was more of a document that was supposed to ground creators in the future for, you know, how to tell stories about the X-Men. And then it became a comic. And then it became a comic that was basically being delivered in conjunction with House. And that's why if you read it, like House of 10 or House of X is really, really good. Powers of 10 is okay. And it was because it was never really written to be a comic. At least this was my takeaway from the hour-long interview that I actually listened to featuring Jonathan Hickman online. So, and if you search, you can actually find it. It's like Jonathan Hickman podcast, and you should be able to pick it up. I actually really enjoyed it. So here we go. Here we go. So yeah, Wolverine. Yep. So I could be right about that. Could be right. Sully Two Kings, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Let me scroll down through the comments here. Unless Professor X had a living clone already alive and hidden away, how will he get his memories back? So you got to read House of 10 Powers of X, brother. All of the details from what you just asked is there in those two comics. I'm telling you, if you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. It is some solid stuff. So scrolling down through the comments here, scrolling up through the comments to see what I missed. I don't know if I missed anything. Pull list getting out of hand, going to have to let some titles go. Hoping store owners doesn't get too, yeah, man, because I feel the same way. My pull list is actually getting pretty deep, to be honest with you. There's a lot of really, really good stuff that is actually coming out, which makes it tough. It makes it tough to buy the new stuff while at the same time buying the old stuff, because there's a lot of new stuff that is really good. And so I'm actually thinking about doing a video. To like ask you guys the question of like, what are you going to change for like 2020, right? Because in my opinion, you know, you can be in this hobby and not change, or you can be in this hobby and you're constantly evolving and changing as you learn more, as you experience more, right? And so I'm thinking about doing a video in which I kind of talk about that, the things that I've learned, how I've, you know, started the year versus how I'm finishing the year versus how I'm going to change things for next year. I'm debating a video of that sort, but we'll see whether I can make some magic happen and actually do it. Matt Wood says, I was going to watch the Mars show, wasn't sure if it was right. I enjoy it. I enjoy it, but it's like at the same time, like I enjoy a good documentary, right? So I enjoy a good documentary. It's something, and I enjoy nature shows and that kind of stuff. The show has a healthy amount of political overtones to it. And if you're the kind of person that doesn't like politics in their stuff, you might not dig this. The show portion, the sci-fi portion of it is much better than the science side of it, but it's still a good show. You may just want to use the science side to go get a snack or a bio break or something. But it's not bad. I enjoy it. If I'm sitting on the couch and I have some time, it's one of those shows that I do enjoy watching. So scrolling up through the comments here, seeing what I missed. Just found my 1979 Boba Fett 3. Wow, that is very nice. Oh man, need his gun though. You can probably find that gun online somewhere. Trust me, you can probably find that gun somewhere out there. I'm sure that someone has that. I have never read this book. I actually almost picked up a free copy of it on it's like the free comic book day that they did for Halloween. I almost picked one up, but I've never actually read that book at all. Scrolling through, I've never really read X-Men titles. Always felt there were too many titles. After listening to you guys, it sounds, man, let me tell you, the House of X Powers of 10 is really, really fantastic. If you're not going, I highly recommend you read that, because I think it's a really good story. But let's say you don't want to read that. Say you just want to get on board with some new stuff. I would say the X-Men title is pretty good. The new X-Men title is pretty good. I enjoy that. And then the Marauders. The Marauders is really, really good. X-Force is good. And then maybe Fallen Angels. I would probably do them maybe in that order. You might actually be able to flip-flop Marauders first. So Marauders might be better than X-Men. but there's a lot of really good stuff to kind of choose from. But it's like, if you want to get into the X-Men, man, I say jump in with both feet. I'm actually in there right now. Before my nap, I was actually reading the first appearance of Omega Red from back in the day. So I'm going back and reading a lot of the old stuff. I actually have a video that I recorded earlier today about some old stuff tied to the X-Men as well, that kind of came out of the new series and the new stuff that I'm reading. I've been going back reading a lot of the old stuff, so I'm going back creating videos based upon some of that old stuff. So I definitely want to encourage you to check it out, man, if you have a chance. Mike, it's all good, brother. Thank you for hanging out. Aaron Finkelstein's like, Mars is fire. Mars was on fire. Let me just tell you, there was a lot of stuff going on Mars. So definitely some cool stuff. I did not get those. I have only bought one comic in the last couple of days. Besides my pull list stuff, I picked up my pull list stuff because I feel obligated to buy that. And then I bought one additional comic to basically finish the run. And I needed this book. And so you'll see the video on that maybe week after next. And hopefully you guys will remember what this was. Scrolling down through the comments here, trying to grab that book as we speak. That's what's up. New Mutant. Well, here, issue 2 is better than issue 1 of New Mutants. Issue 1 was painful. It was a painful issue to read. Issue 2 was better. I enjoyed it. Now, here's why I'm going to encourage you to read New Mutants. I encourage you to read New Mutants because I believe that the first 4 issues will be used by Jonathan Hickman to do something big in the future. And I don't know what it is, but he is laying a foundation right now with X-Men and also with the 4 first issues of New Mutants. And then with the Storm and Emma Giant Size X-Men, because he's writing that one as well. So he is laying a foundation and I don't want to miss it. So that's why I'm reading those. New Mutants probably, if it does not get better, will not make it past issue 5 on my pull list, because I'm committed to buying all the first 5 issues of every single one of the new titles. New Mutants is on the chopping block. I can tell you that right now. So, oh yeah. Oh, I forgot about Excalibur. Excalibur was okay. Okay, it was okay. Dumb all. Excalibur was okay. I felt like they did themselves a disservice with issue number 1. And I say that because they revealed who the new Captain Britain was on the cover instead of letting it that page reveal itself. They also, I think they wrote that book from the vantage point of someone who is a Captain Britain Excalibur fan, and there aren't that many of them out there. So I felt like they did themselves a disservice with that. They should have written that book at a much more entry level for folks to be able to get on board, because as I'm reading it, I feel like I'm missing stuff. It's not that thing where you see it and you're like, oh, I know that there's more there. I felt like I was missing out on the meaning behind issue number 1 because they just wrote it from the vantage point of someone who loves Excalibur. And again, it's like, 10 people. Let me scroll through the comments here. Scrolling down, a couple of independents here. Once in Future, Undiscovered Country are his current indie favorites. Stay tuned for a video that is coming out soon. I'm going to need your help with it. Scrolling down, Midwest Comic Man. I've never seen your name before. Welcome to the live stream. What is this? How much did I? Man, we just been making stuff up here. You didn't miss anything. We're just here talking about stuff. I did. I enjoyed it. I only read issue number 1. I didn't get anything after that, but I did enjoy. They're talking about the J.J. Abrams and his son. They teamed up and they wrote a Spider-Man comic, and I was not going to buy it, but I ended up getting it because somebody recommended it to me, and I read it and I enjoyed it. I just haven't bought it since, because what happens with me is I get to the comic shop and typically I get my pull list. Like as soon as I walk in, they hand me my comics, and then I end up talking for 20 minutes and then I have to go. And so I never really make it to another part of the store. It always just stops right at the counter. Like I was in the comic shop the other day and I walked in and it was super busy. And I ended up talking to the owners for like 25 minutes. And then I had to leave because I had to go get my kids. And so it's tough. I'll get in there, I'll run my mouth, and I'll not go anywhere else to see what else is out there. And so those things that I want to read that are not on my pull list don't get purchased because of this. So oh, there you go. So again, this is part of the reason why I'm doing it. Midwest Comic Man is like, I typically catch the rewinds, which is the case for a lot of people. So it's just cool to be able to have you here in the live stream. We throw you up on the screen there, give you a shout out, Midwest Comic Man. What is this? Man, whoa. Whoa, what do you think is a fair price for the one per store variants? My man, that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money, my friend. My comic shop typically hooks me up with those for like 19 bucks or less. My guy typically does me a pretty good solid with those. He hooks me up. He actually sets them aside for me. And they're typically about 19 bucks or so, which I think is a fair price. 40 bucks, man. So that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. 19 bucks is a lot of money, but it's one per, you know, and then I think the two per is less expensive than that. But it's, you know, for me, it's a way of getting a really cool book, also supporting the local comic shop. But 40 bucks. I mean, the other thing is, look at the condition, right? Because oftentimes what I found is that those books are not 9/8, right? They're modern books. They are not 9/8 because there's like one of them and it somehow is the one that gets banged up when Diamond ships it out. But yeah, that seems like a lot to me personally. Seems like a lot to me. Scrolling down, what did that say? What does it say? Reggie, get yourself an Optimus Prime MPP 10Z figure. Thank you, brother. My man, he knows me too well. He's like, don't worry about it. I got you. I'll send you a message. Don't worry about it. There you go. See, Rob is like, mine does 19 bucks. Again, I can get on board with that. But 40 bucks, oh, kind of hurts me in the guts. It's worth what you pay. Well said. Or what they can get you to pay. Well said. Yes, they do. I remember when was it Amazing Spider-Man 800 dropped, right? So I go to the comic shop, I go to get these books, and I'm pulling them off the shelf. Everyone is banged up, everyone. And so I go to my guy and I'm like, bro, all these are banged up. I'm like, what's up? He's like, check the boxes. So I go over. I'm behind the counter. I'm going through the Diamond box. Book after book after book after book after book is damaged, right? And I've seen the boxes when they come in. They just don't care. Diamond does not care. They ship them, and whatever it is, you know, and it's rough. I mean, that's why, you know, I think that if you're going to charge somebody a reasonable amount of money for something, you should take some caution with it, right? If somebody's a customer, take some caution with the money that they're giving you in exchange for that item, you know. But I don't know, when you're the big dog doing your thing, I don't know. Hillbilly's commenting here, talking about the one per store variant. He's basically saying mine usually does 24 for one per store and like 10 or 15 for the two per store. I mean, again, these are kind of sort of fair prices. And again, it depends on the book, like Comic Crypto Stock says. It depends, in my opinion, on the title. It depends on a couple of things, but you know, the financial feasibility of that comic shop also is something that has to come into play, you know, in the area in which they happen to be selling comics, right? If it's a more affluent area, they're going to try to get a couple of more bucks out of it, you know, or their rent is really high. They're going to need a couple of more bucks to maintain their financial solvency. So it's just interesting. So sent my one per store to CGC, got a 9.8 once in future, but I don't think I'll even get my money back on. Yeah. There you go. That's part of it. And I think those are things that have to be factored in. I'm actually thinking about doing the same thing. I want to say I sent in one, and it was the House of X one per store variant. I think I sent one of those in, the number one. The others are still raw, and I want to wait to see what happens in the marketplace with those before I decide what to actually send in. So, yep. A couple of people commented on Diamond. If they had some competition, man, they might actually take better care. But, you know, back in the day when there was, 12 or so different distributors out there, they had some competition, kind of, sort of, the market was definitely fragmented. I think that, Diamond helped tremendously bring some stability to the market, right? Because they consolidated things, they bought some people went out of business, so they helped stabilize the comic book market. But I am a fan of competition. I think competition is a good thing. It keeps competitors honest, keeps companies honest, and it puts a little bit. It tips the scales to some degree in favor of the consumer. And so I'm a big fan of competition. So there you go. That's what's up. LCS has everything bagged and boarded. That's how it should be. But there's money. They are putting a lot of money into those bags and boards. You know what I'm saying? Bags and boards are not cheap, right? And so that's a lot of money that they're putting out there for a book that may not sell. But again, if I'm giving you good money, give me good product. And so there is a little bit of give and take there. So shout out. Who is your LCS, Aaron? Shout them out. Shout them out the LCS there, brother, because I think that's important. Somebody dropped a super chat. Rob, there you go. Man, you're gonna make me buy this comic, aren't you? You are going to make me buy this comic. Goodness gracious. Now I feel obligated. I feel obligated to buy this comic. Was that 42? Write this down. I think I wrote another note somewhere here in the room, but you're going to obligate me now. So now I've got to go ahead and get it. But thank you, brother. I definitely appreciate your kindness. Very kind gesture of you. So thank you for that. Scrolling down through the comments here. All right. Diamond is like the golf. There we go. Yancey Street Comics in Port Richey, Florida. That's what's up. Aaron Finkelstein, shout out to this local comic shop that is bagging and boarding, all that good stuff. I was actually in a comic shop, and I can't remember where I was. I was somewhere, and I walk in, and they basically had these tables. It was a room full of tables, and they had all of the comics stacked one on top of each other, and nothing was bagged and boarded. And I almost had a heart attack. I was like, there is nothing bagged and boarded in here. They had the doors open. There was light coming through all the windows, and it was chaos. It was chaos in this store. And I'm like, how do people buy comics like this? It's brutal. It's brutal. I'm not quite sure how they do that. So, but they clearly in that neck of the woods can actually get away with it. One per store on a $100,000 print run will be much more than one per store in a 10K print run. What is this? Back to singles for a while. Just kind of scrolling through the comments. Pedro, how you doing? It's good to see you. Two Gun Pedro. Never seen your name before. Welcome to the live stream, my friend. Again, it's one of the good things about doing these live streams at a different time is that you have an opportunity to mix it up with people so that you normally don't get a chance to see. So we haven't been talking about much of anything in this live stream, just kind of hanging out, having a good time. But I did make mention of this earlier. This show on Netflix, Netflix original series, The Toys That Made Us. This is actually a pretty good series that I've been enjoying. I watched 2 episodes. I watched the one on Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I watched the one on Transformers. Thoroughly enjoy both of them. If you haven't checked the series out, you definitely want to check it out because it's pretty cool, pretty entertaining, very relatable, given the stuff that we always talk about on on this channel and also elsewhere on the YouTube machine. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. I see a couple of things kind of happening over here that I need to look into. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me just a little bit. I absolutely appreciate you in this day after Thanksgiving random chat. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I want to encourage you to hit the thumbs up on this. And if you need to reach out to me, don't hesitate to do so at RegieCollects on Instagram and RegieCollects@gmail.com. Take care.